Chapter 9, Resume Writing and Interview Skills. In this chapter, we will look at how to prepare your resume and what it takes in an interview. Firstly, it's important to know that your resume, or otherwise called a CV, is a marketing tool. It tells the company or employer about yourself. It's a communication tool, and it tells everything that the employer needs to know about yourself. Now, what to include in your resume? Personal information is very important. Your job objective is important, as well as your education. In other words, your qualifications. And we only include high school and university education. Work experience is important. Where did you work? What did you do? When did you work for that company? As well as your skills and achievements. And then very important is references. Now, it's very important that you do not include certain personal information like your marital status, your age, your height, and some other things. Under education, you must list the name of the college or university in full. You must give the full name of the degree or course that you completed, as well as the year that you graduated and your GPA. Under work experience, we must list the name of the company, and it's very important to list the dates. When did you start and when did you finish with the company, as well as your duties, and you do that in point form, and the name and the person of the person that you worked for, your manager, in other words, or supervisor. Now, when it comes to references, we give 2, maybe 3 references, but we cannot include a family member as a reference. They have to be objective. And you must include the person's name, the name of the company where they are working, as well as their job title, and obviously an email and a cell phone number so that the employer can contact them. Now, there are a few other optional categories. You can look at those yourself. Now, when we get to the interview, we need to understand why will an employer interview you. Well, firstly, they want to know, will you be a good match? That word is compatibility. Will you be compatible? And that just simply means, will you fit into the company? And will you make a good contribution to the company? Are you a good person to employ? Secondly, they want to know, are you self-motivated? In other words, can you get on with your job when nobody is managing you or supervising you? And thirdly, they want to know about your commitment. They want to know, have you got a history of taking responsibility? In your CV, they will look for that. And fourthly, they want to know, can you communicate well? Can you work in a team? Can you work with others? Can you express yourself clearly? Now we look at the types of interviews. There are 4 traditional types of interviews. So we start with the face-to-face interview, and that is where you will meet with the employer and they will ask you a number of questions. And then you get to a structured interview, and that is when an employer will interview a number of people, and so they will ask everybody the same questions so that they can compare answers. Then you get an on-site interview, often the second interview, and it's often less formal and will maybe show you where the workplace is, and they will ask you questions and allow you to ask questions. And finally, you get a Skype interview. That's when you're not in the same city or same country. You'll do it online. Now, how to prepare for an interview? Well, research the company. Look up the company online. Check what is said about the company. What is their area of expertise? And then practice. Get somebody to help you and let them ask you questions, and you can answer the questions and then review your answers. And finally, come up with some of your own questions for the interview. Here are some sample questions. We did that as an assignment in class. And finally, we need to look at first impression. In other words, as you walk into the interview, so give a firm handshake, you smile, you make good eye contact, and remember to stand straight up, and then when you sit with your shoulders nice and square, and of course your appearance is very important, that you dress in a professional way. And that is a review of Chapter 9, the resume and interview skills.